The Brewers have another injury to deal with one of their key players, yet they remain firmly in control and in the driver's seat for that number one seed. All that and more coming up next here on Locked On Brewery.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Good to have you along here on a Thursday. It's great to be a Brewers fan these days, right? Tell you more about that in just a second. My name is Chuck Freimund, longtime sportscaster here in the great state of Wisconsin, proud host of Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Episode brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the United States. Visit 5hewin.com for rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters. Ends October 31st of 2025. On the show today, I'll tell you why the Brewers are in the driver's seat. With each and every win, they move closer and closer and closing out that number one seed. The injury, the latest with Christian Yelich. We thought that the back injury was gone away, the back pain. Apparently, it has cropped up. We'll tell you about that. He was not in the lineup on Wednesday night. And we'll preview Thursday's game as the pitcher of the month in the National League. Freddy Peralta goes for Milwaukee. But another great win for the Brewers on Wednesday night. They get out to a 5-0 lead. And it's kind of the same recipe. Aaron Nola walks the leadoff guy, and it begins to unravel for the Phillies, and they start throwing the ball around, and the Brewers just take advantage. And it's capped off. The first 5 batters reach, capped off by a Collins 3-run home run to right field. And without recording it out, Aaron Nola looks up at the scoreboard, and he sees his Phillies down 5-0. And the Brewers, they only scored one more run the rest of the night, but they cranked it up in that first inning, got it done, and rode behind Jose Quintana. But, man, what a night, man. 28,000. It was dog night out there. I'll be honest, I'm not a big dog guy. I am not a big dog guy at all. I don't hate dogs. I just don't want somebody bringing their dogs over to my house. That's just a pet peeve of mine. I don't want relatives doing it. I don't want anybody doing it. But I'm not. And in this case, the dogs were at the Brewers' house tonight. But I'm up in the press box. I don't care. I'm just not a big dog guy. I hope nobody hates me for that, but I'm just not a big dog guy. Not a big cat guy, especially not a cat person. So anyway, it was dog night, 28,000 on hand for the Brewers. And I got a feeling there would have been probably 28,000 on hand anyway, had it not been dog night, because it was, we got the best team in baseball, and the Brewers are just loving life, and we're loving life as their fans. It's funny. I listen to a lot of fans. I go on Twitter and I watch a lot of baseball, and, the supposed powers, the San Diego Padres, the LA Dodgers, the Philadelphia Phillies, teams like the Cubs, all their fans are complaining about their team, right? I mean, we do it a little bit, I guess, but I think sometimes it's a little knee-jerk reaction, because, the Brewers will win, several games, and then all of a sudden they lose one in heartbreaking fashion, like Monday night. It's like, oh boy. But man, like Padre fans, the few that are out there, although they're filling their stadiums every night, this is a team that the Brewers could see in the postseason, man. They look terrible in a 3-game set against Baltimore this week. The Brewers never looked that bad. I'm watching the Padres. They're not hustling out balls, stuff like that. Dodgers losing 2 in a row to the Pirates. And tonight, just look at the Dodgers, how lifeless they are. And of course, nobody's more lifeless than Craig Counsell and the Chicago Cubs these days. We'll tell you about what Craig did tonight. But I'm just using it as an example. Some of these teams that the Brewers are going to play and possibly play in the postseason, man, their fans are all over them, and rightfully so. And then here we are, small market Milwaukee. We're not paying $45 million for Bryce Harper. Okay. We don't have a roster full of millionaire ball players like the Phillies do, but the Brewers do have guys who care and hustle and play the game right. Once in a while, things get out of hand. They'll throw the ball a little bit, maybe get a guy picked off. But for the most part, the Brewers play the game right. And I'll tell you, some of these other teams just don't. But Collins certainly does. I mean, put another vote in for Collins for Rookie of the Year, right? Just don't look at the numbers. You know, some of you national guys out there, national baseball writers, people vote in this stuff, you have no idea. You're not watching Brewers baseball every night. Nick Collins has come up in major moments and delivered. He is unanimously, I think, Rookie of the Year. I said the other day, Durbin. Yeah, I love Durbin. But I mean, let's face it, Collins, with each big moment and that 3-run shot in the first inning, put that in for cases why Collins should be unanimous Rookie of the Year in the National League. He is just great, and he's clutch too. We interviewed him tonight after the game. Man, he's small, short guy. I mean, the Brewers have a lot of these guys, but man, Collins, a gamer. That's what I'll say about him. These guys have gamers on their team. And that brings me to Jose Quintana. Got his 11th win of the year. Jose pitched until the 7th inning. Now, he gave up like a mammoth home run, and that was it. And I know some people on Twitter said, God, why did Murphy keep this guy in so long? Why didn't he stuck with him too long? Nah, Quintana's throwing the ball well. And I get it. Some of you want to, him to get out of there, get him out while the getting's good. Is that what the expression is? Get him out there while he's enjoying some success, on top. And still, he gave up 3 runs over 6 and a third. But they were trying to squeeze an extra inning out of him. I'm good with that. Bottom of the order, lit him up for 2 runs, and they got him out of there. And the rest of the bullpen took over. Ashby got some big outs there, including Schwarber and Harper. Harper did not have a big night. Did not have a good night at all. I mean, he was stranding boatloads of guys on base. That's because of the Brewers pitching. But Quintana, solid out there. And you remember his last start, he was not very good. He was great, I thought. Pitched into the 7th inning. Here's a guy we're wondering, where's he going to fit into the postseason on this team? Is he going to be out of the bullpen? Is he going to be a starter on this team? I'm telling you, he looked awfully good. I know his last start wasn't good, but he looked awfully good. But they were trying to get an extra inning out of him, and I don't have any problem with that. He was mid-80s on the pitch count at that point. Finished with, I believe, 97 on the pitch count. Saved that bullpen a little bit. You had to use a few more extra guys. Candy closed it out. And some of you might wonder, well, why didn't Uribe close it out? Well, here's what happened. The bottom of the order for the Phillies were right-handed hitters. So Jim Henderson, the Brewer bullpen coach, one of the coaches, nice guy, suggested to Murphy, hey, maybe we should use Uribe in the 8th inning, and Koenig, if the spot happens, facing the lefties in the 9th inning, the Schwarbers and the Bryce Harpers, let's go with him. Let's go with Koenig to close it out. And Koenig did. Koenig closed it out, got his first save of the year and his 2nd career save. So it's not that Koenig is going to be the closer until Miguel comes back. And they weren't trying anything. They were thinking out of the box here, which is good. You had Uribe in the 8th inning, and then you brought in Koenig to finish out the 9th. It was about matchups there for Murphy, and I'm good with that. Murphy loves his that's one thing we've really learned about Murphy. Murphy loves his matchups. I mean, that's why Durbin was not in the lineup against the right-handed pitcher, Nola. And Sigler was out there again. God, I hear Twitter crying when that lineup was announced tonight. It was brutal. I mean, he was brutal defensively. He made an error, turned a double play, and he can't hit worth a darn. I don't get it. Murphy loves his at-bats. I don't know what he's seeing in him, but who are we to question Murphy? Now, I saw when the lineup came out tonight, they readjusted the lineup about 30 minutes before the game. Christian Yelich, it was learned that, the back was flaring up, and we're going to get to that here in a little bit. But here's the lineup the Brewers went with. Terang, Churio, Contreras, Frelick batting 4th, Collins 5th, Perkins 6th, Bauer 7th, Sigler 8th, and Ortiz ninth. Now, I'm done complaining about the lineup because I feel like I said a couple of weeks ago, the Brewers could put mannequins out there and still somehow they would produce. So, yeah, that lineup on paper, you might be, what are you going to do? Well, Yelich is out of the lineup, so you had to move things around a little bit. Ziegler, I understand that. But Bauer's playing in place of Vaughn. Again, the right hand around the mound. Bauer's broken 0 for 20 slump with a base hit. But, hey, they got the win, right? Some of you were complaining about the batting order. I'm done complaining about the batting order. You will never hear me complain about the batting order ever again, unless Ziegler is somehow batting twice in the lineup. Then I'll be a little suspicious. If I see his name in the second spot, in the eighth spot, I'll be like, how did they get him in there twice? So, but I get it. When the one thing I will complain about, though, is, Durbin, play him every day. Every day in the podcast, I'm going to say this. Durbin, play him every day. Get that guy in there. I know he came in toward the end of the game and played defensively over at third base. I mean, that tells you something that Ziegler just is. In Stratomatic, he'll be a 4 at third base if he gets a Stratomatic card. Ziegler. All right. Great win. The Brewers 5.5 up on the Phillies because they were 4.5 up. The Phillies win that game. They'd be 3.5 up on the Phillies only. So that's a big 2-game swing. And they also won the tiebreaker with the Philadelphia Phillies. So if they play them in the NLCS, 4 of those 7 games would be right here in Milwaukee at AmFam Field. So that's great. That's great. Won the tiebreaker. They got the tiebreaker over so many different teams. The Brewers are 16-4 against division leaders: Toronto, Houston, Detroit, Philly, and the Dodgers. They're 16-4. This narrative out there that the Brewers are built for the regular season, and I know it's because of past lack of success in the postseason. I don't quite understand it, that way of thinking, but I think, 16-4 this season against the 5 division leaders, I'll take that. Now, if they bust out in the postseason, I'm not going to say, well, this team was built for the regular season. Something else is going on. They just didn't get it done. But we'll worry about that here in the coming weeks. Still got to close this thing out. And with the Cubs losing to the Atlanta Braves, Council took out his pitching a no-hitter through 5. Cubs are 6 games out. Time's running out for them. Dodgers 7.5 out. Dodgers, again, they had no interest in playing the Pirates tonight. The Pirates beat them 3-0. No interest. Once again, Dodgers, Shohei, none of those guys felt like Freddie Freimund, none of those guys seemed like there was any interest in them playing their game against the Pirates. That's fine. Same with San Diego. And did you see what Cortez did? San Diego is 10 games out. Cortez, thank God, the Brewers found someone to take Cortez off their hands because we did not want to see this guy pitch. I have memories of that guy not only giving up the Freddie Freimund grand slam in the postseason, but remember the back-to-back home runs he gave up to the Yankees early in the season? Well, he did the same thing against the Orioles today. So thank you, San Diego. I mean, we'll take Ziegler. We got him Ziegler, but the bottom line is we don't have to deal with Cortez or see him. Nice guy. He's not good enough to pitch on this pitching staff. We're trying to win a World Series here. San Diego, I hope you throw Cortez against the Brewers if we see you in the postseason. Wow. Yeah. What a night. What a night to be out there. And that home run, by the way, that Weston Wilson hit off of Quintana, it was measured, the Brewers say, at 444 feet. I'm telling you, I think that thing went 500 feet. It's one of the longest home runs I've ever seen hit at AmFam Field. Ricky Weeks, I thought, hit one off the plexiglass out there one time. But Wilson's home run of 444 feet, I'm telling you, if that was a Brewer hitting it, they would have probably said 484. But it did not go 4. It went longer than that. I mean, that ball took off and it just kept rising. And it flew right out the windows in the back. That's how hard it was hit. That spelled the night for Quintana. And then the bullpen came in and took care of the rest. All right, we come back. I'm late for a break here. We're going to talk about Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich, man. I know. We'll get to that next here on Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. This podcast is brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live, the energy of the crowd, the chance to see your team in person. 3:10 on Thursday afternoon, that first pitch out of AmFam Field. Go out there. The roof was closed tonight. They had the panels open. Rain and a little cool out there, but they closed the panels. Could have opened them up, but Game Time offers you tickets for tomorrow's game, going to Pittsburgh. Maybe you're going to Dallas to see the Texas Rangers next week, face the Brewers. Use Game Time. I use Game Time. We always get great seats. And I'll tell you, inside the final 2 hours or inside the final hour even of trying to get tickets, go to the Game Time app. You last bit of tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And they mean it. Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code Locked On MLB. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. So use my promo code Locked On MLB, $20 off. $70, the tickets are $50. When you use the promo code Locked On MLB, swipe, tap, ticket, go download Game Time today. Chuck Freimund here on Locked On Brewers. Good to have you along. Always ran into several fans making my way to the ballpark. Got there right around the first pitch tonight. And saw a lot of you fans out there. Thank you for supporting the podcast. You get us on Google, Spotify, Apple, wherever you download audio podcasts. We're the number one Brewers podcast on the internet because of you great Brewer fans. Thanks for making us your first listen to every day. All you everydayers. I know who you guys are because you write me every day and you tell me about things and all that, and I love it. Get us up on YouTube as well. Search on YouTube, search Locked On Brewers, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode. I started this thing. We had a couple of hundred followers on YouTube. We're up to close to 7,000. We're at 6,948, I think. Trying to get to 7,000 here soon. And I want to keep going. And that's because you great Brewer fans out there. Please hit me up on Twitter as well. Chuck Freimund, Freimund. Facebook as well, Chuck Freimund. You want to message me? You got a question? DM me, message me. I'm not going to be like my former partner on air, Bart Winkler, who would give out his phone number on the air. He gave out his cell phone a couple of times. He did some crazy things, that old Bart Winkler, but great to see that he's having success. I will not be giving out the personal number, but hit me up on Twitter and hit me up on Facebook if you want. All right. Christian Yelich, man. Had some bad flashbacks with Christian Yelich today. When it was announced in the press box 30 minutes before the first pitch, his back was flaring up. Now, apparently it was flaring up last week against Arizona. Now, the Brewers, they don't tell us this stuff, and they're going to keep, there's a lot of injuries and there's a lot of stuff that they're not going to tell us in the media, and they're not going to tell you guys as fans, because why would you want to give away information to everybody, to other teams or whatever? I mean, you don't go run into your neighbors and tell them that you don't have any money in your bank account, do you? No, the Brewers aren't going to tell about injuries that guys are dealing with. Some of these guys are dealing with injuries we don't even know about. And apparently it was Christian Yelich, just one of those guys. Apparently the back was flaring up last week against Arizona. He tried playing through it. Finally, the trainer said, we need to give him a couple of days off. So Yelich is hoping to play this weekend. He was trying to play through it among the RBI leaders in the National League, but he could not. They decided to shut him down for a couple of days. Now, this could be something in regards to a pass issue. Murphy was very vague on it. I mean, he's not going into detail about it. He did have the surgery, as we know, Yelich did last August, and maybe this is something related to it, but it's the back, right? It's the back. And he's had a problem with the back in the past, but this is the first time, to my knowledge, this year he's had a back issue. So one more thing the Brewers have to deal with, right? I mean, you look at all these guys, they've dealt with injuries. They dealt with people going on the injured list, missing time off and all that. Yelich has been like the one constant every day in the lineup. He hasn't had to rest at all. He's been in the lineup every day and playing out there. But he wasn't in the lineup tonight. Red flags went up, and it's because of the back. So Yelich, I think hopefully, I don't know, this couple of days off here knocks it out. But the Brewers are covered with Perkins out in center field, right? Perkins out in center field, and Yelich can DH when he gets back, or probably this weekend. I would say he's DHing most of the time anyway, so he's not playing the outfield. But obviously, if the Brewers want to do things that they want to do, and the Brewers in the locker room tonight, we're talking about, man, we got some big goals. We got some big goals, and that's great because we have some big goals for the Brewers, right? We have some big goals playing deep into October. Bad news with Shelby Miller. Could possibly need Tommy John surgery, the elbow pop. Man, Brewers need him in the bullpen too. They made a trade for him. Tommy John surgery. He is out potentially, but he is definitely out for the rest of the season. A couple of honors for the Brewers. Bryce Terang, Player of the Month in the National League, 10 home runs. Wow. Bryce Terang, no surprise there. Freddy Peralta had a .23 earned run average. .23 earned run average for the month of August. 4 straight starts Peralta made, 5 innings, no runs. First time a Brewer has ever done that. I'll say that again. First time a Brewer has ever gone 4 straight starts, 5 innings or more with no runs. He's got 16 wins, could be headed for 20. Who was the last one? Teddy Higuera in 1986 was the last one to get 20 wins for the Brewers. But he's down that road. We don't judge pitchers by 20 wins anymore, the win totals. We judge them on quality starts, right? The eye test, the quality starts and all that. Peralta has been great. Not only the Brewers they had the Player of the Month for August, Pitcher of the Month, Team of the Month, Team of the Year, the Milwaukee Brewers. Craig, I was going to tell you what Craig did. Craig, I did not see it. I only read about it, and we were talking about it a little bit in the press box. He pulled his starter Horton after 5 innings, pitching a no-hitter. And, of course, there was a 1-0 lead, and I believe the run they scored was an unearned run. So the Brewers the Cubs were sitting on that 1-0 lead, and then Atlanta exploded and ended up pulling away for a 5-1 lead. So Cub fans were all upset because Horton was pitcher to no-hitter. Hey, that's your problem. That is your problem. But the Cubs could have gave him some support, didn't. Typical, like we saw here with Craig Counsell. The Brewers were just under Counsell would be sitting on a 1-0 or 2-1 lead deep into the game and hoping and praying that a lifeless Brewers team was going to hold on with their pitching staff. Those days are done. Counsell is Chicago's problem now. We don't have that problem here because we got guys who are getting after it like a college atmosphere. All right, we come back. We'll set the table for Thursday's 3:10 start Central Time. I'll tell you about who has had success against Peralta. One guy in particular for the Phillies. We'll get to that coming up next here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. 5 Hour Energy, another great sponsor here of Locked On Brewers. I take 5 Hour Energy around 10 o'clock every morning. But some of you guys, I know, they tell me that you take it after lunch or whatever, gives you that extra pick-me-up. I take it every day, 7 days a week. And right now, 5 Hour Energy transfusions are the all big hit. Fuel up with those. Grape, ginger, lime-flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite. Yeah, going out on the golf course, you want mental clarity, you want that extra energy, try the 5 Hour Energy transfusion. The wildest shot you'll ever have. Man, it'll make you feel good. Tee it up. If you're going up golfing, you got great golf weather here in Wisconsin in September. Take yourself one of those 5 Hour Energy transfusions. And also, tee it up, a chance to win a golf trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and details on a chance to win your trip to any golf tournament in the United States, with the exception of the Masters. Check it out, 5hewin.com, as 5 Hour Energy is giving away this free trip. All right, down the stretch we come here on Locked On Brewers. Freddy Peralta against Ranger Suarez. Suarez I'll tell you about him first of all. Last start against Atlanta, felt like I saw him pitch. It felt like there was traffic on the base paths every inning. His team did win, I believe, over the Braves 2-1, but he had a lot of traffic out there. Brewers who have had success against Ranger Suarez. Left-handed pitcher, Contreras, 9 for 21, 3 homers. 9 for 21, 3 homers, Contreras against the Phillies pitcher on Thursday, Suarez. Meantime, for the Brewers, Peralta on the hill. Not a lot of success. I mean, Bryce Harper, 13 at bat. Listen to these numbers. Bryce Harper against Peralta, 13 at bats, 3 hits, 10 strikeouts. So of his 13 at bats, he struck out 10. The times he has connected, he's got 3 hits and 2 of them home runs. Weird line. Very odd. Castellanos, he's got great numbers against Peralta. 7 of 19 and a home run. Similar to Contreras against Suarez, 9 of 21, 3 home runs. Castellanos, 7 of 19. Castellanos bounced into a big double play late in the game. Got a couple of hits last night. But Freddy Peralta going for win number 17. And a series win after the Brewers won their series in Toronto, and they split their last homestand series with Arizona. All right, that's going to do it for Locked On Brewers. 3:10. Honestly, I don't know why it's a 3:10 start tomorrow on a Thursday, but I don't know if it's because the NFL's starting, but they anticipated the Packers maybe playing on that Thursday. I don't know. The Brewers have moved their games around for Packer games before, but the Packers don't play until Sunday, later in the day. But 3:10 first pitch against the Phillies, so it should be a great crowd and a fun time to be out there. Hey, if I see you out there, say hello. We'll see you out there. Let's have a good time and get a win before going to Pittsburgh this weekend. The Pirates have taken the first 2 games of their series with the Dodgers. It's going to do it for Locked On Brewers. My name is Chuck Freimund. Thanks for making us your first listen to every day on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day.